I think every year there's a perception of what should be done to the city streets, and depending on the administration, we try to meet that goal. Sometimes, depending on what we have to do, these streets are just covered over with a layer of blacktop, which at some point it's going to fail. I mean, it's just a thin layer. It's going to peel off, whether I peel it off with my plows or pothole forms and the cars just going over it, break it up. It's something that we're constantly reviewing. These streets are all rated privately. They're not rated by the city. It's an independent thing that's being done to the city streets. Each street has its own certain circumstance that needs to be addressed. We do our best to try to do what we can with what money we have. There's different processes that we go through. There's many different processes. Not every road is done the same. And that's just how it is in the industry. It's whatever best case practice it is for your street. Some streets that were just paved over, now we're having some problems with. Some streets that didn't have a hot mix on it and a cold mix on it. You know, it goes back and forth. It's trial and error. But I think we're finally getting down to the point where we know exactly what works for the city streets, and that's what we're doing.
Well, this year it's as successful as last year. Every year it's going to fluctuate how many miles we do. This year we're doing about 10 miles compared to last year, roughly around 8 miles. And that's going to vary from year to year because it depends on the road infrastructure and how deep the mills have to be per streets. You know, if they're shallower mills, we'll be able to do a little bit more. But we're looking at, if we continue with the 5 million, roughly around 8 to 10 miles of a year. The reason it's this number is because we have other things that are included in our road work. We have a lot of steel in the road that need attention, such as our sewers, water valves, things of that nature, sidewalks, curb work, etc. My personal opinion, I think it's a great program. I'm seeing that we can actually start catching up with a lot of the bad roads that we have out there instead of just chasing. We go through a pretty thorough process of our streets. We look at our sewer infrastructure, we televise all our main lines. Some of the streets that we find that are in the worst shape, we put those in a separate category as where we'll try to replace the sewers before we do any road work. This will give us a little bit of a longer lifespan on the roads. It'll eliminate any potential road cuts in the future. We try to coordinate with the Water Board, National Grid also if they have any projects in the roads that we're trying to improve.
I'm ecstatic about the citywide paving program. We have 220 miles that I plow, that my guys plow at the DPW. And every year, it depends on the street, we rip one up because it's in such poor condition, or we can't sweep the street properly because when we go over it, we're picking up the dirt and depositing it in the low points of the street. With the new paving project, we got a nice smooth street. We're able to properly plow it and street sweep it, which is huge. So it does help with the paving program. We do quite a bit every year, which is extraordinary from when I first started, where we're only doing 1 to 2 miles. Now we're up to 5 sometimes. It's a great thing for us, and it's a great thing for the taxpayers.
The inflation definitely plays a big role, especially on asphalt. As our fuel goes up, price of asphalt goes up. You know, the cost comes down to us. So labor, concrete work, everything that's required to do this type of work year by year, we're expected to pay a little bit more. We look at our overall map of the city, of the roads that are rated from worst to best condition. Obviously we have priority roads, so roads that are highly traveled with a lot of large volume of traffic. We look at those roads first, and we move into our secondary, which are residential roads, and go from there. So we try to spread the program throughout the whole city so everybody sees work in the city.
Every day, if I'm on TV or on the radio, I've always asked the city taxpayers to be patient with us. With smaller crews, it takes us a lot longer to be able to get out and do what we really need to do. With that being said, potholes. We appreciate the fact that people call us, that lets us know where they are. The 311 system has been a great benefit to us. We respond to those just as well as we do with anybody calling us. We are aware of the potholes. We're aware of the condition of the city roads. We're an old city. There's a lot of things that develop every day. Even on our new streets that we have paved, sometimes we get water breaks. We got to dig up the street again. It's just continuous infrastructure maintenance that we have to do continuously. And it takes a toll on our forces, it takes a toll on our budgets, but it is what it is. That's what you need to do to get by, and that's what we do. Just be patient with us. We'll get to it as soon as we can. Working together, we'll get this done.